Hey, welcome to this special announcement for BookMasher. I'm your host, Damon Nelson, and today we are announcing a new book writing module called the Children's Book Writing Module. And it is absolutely incredible because not only do we give you a good writing model, but we allow you to put in different age groups in there. And we also allow you to tell, is it going to be a story? Is it going to be a rhyme? Is it going to be like a Dr. Seuss book? Or is it just going to be an educational type book? So you get to determine what that children's book looks like along with your inputs. So let's get started. I'm going to go over the strategy of how to use it and the things that you're going to need to get started. But at the end of the day, or at the end of the call, you should be proficient enough to get started with children's books. Start writing these incredible books that you could publish on Amazon, or just for your kids. If that's all you want to do is make a book for your kids, this is perfect. Okay, so let's get started. And I'm just going to move down to the next slide here. Brainstorming. So you've got to start somewhere. You got to start with an idea. I like to use Chat or Gemini to get a good idea of kind of some different book strategies to write about. Now, what I found also is if I start with the AI tools like Chat or Gemini or Perplexity, is sometimes I can develop the storyline prior to going into this children's book writing module, which really helps out getting you a good, clear book within the number of pages that you want. So let's start with AI, get some brainstorming ideas, and then we're going to go into children's books. So let's keep on going down. We'll just kind of explore here what else. So once you get into BookMasher, you're going to choose your children's books. You're going to input your settings. This is where 7 to 9 year olds or 3 to 6 year olds. It's the different age groups and the tone that you're going to write in, and also the story type. It's very important to determine the story type because you can go all over the map with children's books. And then you create the title, the outline, and you start your book. Then once your book is done, it's time to illustrate the book. Now, we do have a good graphic engine. The only problem that I see with it is the consistent characters. You can't get really good consistent characters. So on another video, I'm going to show you how to do consistent character creation with MidJourney. But for right now, I want you to get started with writing children's books. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll pop over to, here's our BookMasher. We don't want to go in there. This is the sales page. So if you haven't got BookMasher, go to bookmasher.com. And before that, let's go over here to our members.bookmasher. And we'll log in real quick and go into my books. Very easy. You'll see it down here, children's books. And I've made some books already just to kind of get you familiar with the software. It's top to bottom, dashboard, my books, media mixer if you're going to put in some of your own content, images in here with media packs. You can also do your audits so you know what you're spending money on as far as images. And integrations is you can integrate OpenAI, Anthropic, Perplexity, Stability AI, and then also you can put in your AI Masher, so you can push book chapters over to AI Masher as articles or to create podcasts with them. You can put your Google Drive in here, OpenRouter, and Ideogram. And I like Ideogram. It's a great image producer on APIs. Only problem is it does cost a little bit of money, so just be careful with that. So let's see what we have on children's books, and then we're going to go create some ideas. So this is your table. This is your ID of your book, the create date, the name, very similar to all our other book writers. This is the AI type we used, and the status. This book is completed. We haven't done any images. If I do images, it would say completed down here. If it's active, it would say yes, and it would all be in bold. To add, you would just click the add button. And to edit, again, you would just hit edit. So if I go into the secrets of Starstone Cove, just to give you an example, I used OpenAI using an API key. And We got children's books, and we're using 4.0 mini on this one, and English temperature. When you're writing children's books, pump this temperature up to 0.7, 0.8 to be more creative. This is the only time I'm going to tell you, be more creative with AI. This was actually written for a younger crowd. I think it was 3 to 5 year olds. Oh, no, this book was 6 to 8. Adventurous, narrative. We have simplified these writing styles and tones to match up with what would be great to use for book writing. So simple, descriptive, engaging, imaginative, narrative. The tone, playful, whimsical, adventurous, educational, warm. We did a lot of research using our AI tools. What are the best tones to use for children's books? So that's why we put all this stuff in here for you. What's the best content to put? Short stories, single storyline, educational content. So if you want to be more on the teaching side, use this. Rhyming books. If you want a Dr. Seuss style book, this is perfect. Especially a 3 to 5 year old. That is a great age range to use rhyming books. And then here's where you put in your topic. And what I did was I used, I think, Chat to do a book summary. I'm going to show you how I do this. And this is pretty good. You could put in special instructions. I'm going to leave out for now and 50 pages. And then you just make it active, and it's going to create your title, and then it's going to create the outline first. Once you have the title and the outline and you've adjusted the outline, if you need to make any, then you'll have a button down below to a green button that says OK to continue. And then it will write all your chapters. And once it's done, it's going to say completed. And it typically, depending on the speed of everything else that's going on, because we're using a big server, but we got other people building books at the same time, it could take anywhere from 10 minutes to 25 or 30 minutes to write your book. So write it, go have lunch, and by the time you're back, your book is written. So I've got and you could see your book right here. Okay, so title, outline, and chapter 1, Introduction to Seabright. So this is a story about some special magical stones that these 3 kids find, and it talks about them and helping grandma, and then we go into the cozy atmosphere of the end, and then they start discovering the stones. Very, very good book to read. So this is one of them. This was more, I think this was, I think it was 9 to 12 because it's a longer book. So let's take a look at a few others. I've got a rhyming book in here, and I think it's this one. The Great Garden Giggle. Yeah, this was 3 to 5 year olds. I used 4.0.8, so I really pumped up the creativity. And it's about veggies and fruits come alive at night to solve a mystery about who's been nibbling on them. And again, I pulled this straight from suggested topics from Chat. 20 pages long, and here's the Veggie Detectives Unite. Let's take a look at it. Preview all. Okay. Page 3 to 4, the mystery unveiled, gathering the detectives, sharing gross stories, clues in the garden, suspecting the critters, and the grand reveal. Garden salute. It's pretty neat, pretty good. And it even has some educational themes woven in here. Okay. The Garden's Secret Song. This is chapter 1, a moonlight introduction. In a quiet garden under the silvery moon, veggies and fruits sing a secret tune. So it's a rhyming book, and the only thing you need with this is illustrations. This is great. So here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that, and we're going to go ahead and illustrate this. I'll show you how it's done. And I'm just going to come down here below, and I'm going to use my book graphic engine, BookMasher. You get whatever your plan you're on, you have credits with the BookMasher software. And it only takes 1 credit to generate 4 images that you can choose from with our image swapper in there. Now, if you go to ideogram, it starts getting up to 8 cents per image. So if you got 20 images in a book, you're at $1.60 right there. Stability is on a credit system. and Dolly is 0.8 cents per image. You can use Dolly. If you got ideogram, tied-in, or stability, these are going to be better models, I think, than Dolly is. With this one, I'm just going to use our image credits. Now, we have two models that work well with this. I'm just going to go with Flux. Don't use the cookbooks. They don't work very well. Now, you can choose a style if you want. I think I'm going to go with pixel art on this one. Typically, with the others like cookbooks and travel guides, I don't use any style. Flux is pretty good at doing good images, but I do the cookbook model on my engine model. But on this one, we're going to use Flux. Now, where are we going to put it? Well, this is Garden Giggles. So I'm going to make a image pack. I'm going to call it AI Garden Giggles. So all the images that we make, I want to store in an image pack. If I don't do this, all the images you make, they'll be attached to the book, but you won't be able to use them anywhere else because they won't get stored. So let's make an image pack for it. And now I'm going to click this button here, Resolve All Image Prompts. It's going to go out and create images for us. So I'll just hit Resolve All Image Prompts. And there we go. It's going to build all the images for us. And I'm just coming up here and we'll hit Finish. Now, it says cooking. What that means is cooking the images for you. It's kind of a rollover from our cookbooks. And when it's done, it's going to say completed. Okay, so this is going to take another 10 to 15 minutes to do this part here. Meanwhile, let's work on another book. So I'm going to go over here to Chat and Children Book Ideas. Now, I've got Gemini, and we're going to play with Gemini today, although Chat did a great job for me. But I want to tell you something. So this is Brainstorm Ideas. I'm using 4.0 in the Chat model, but I don't get to set the temperature unless I specifically call it out. So this was Brainstorm Ideas, and I want you to interview me when you have enough information and give me some book story ideas that would be entertaining and educational for 10 to 12-year-olds. Very simple prompt, but it allows the software, the AI, to kind of interview you and see what type of ideas you want to redefine them better for you. I found that when you interact with your AI, you're going to get a lot better answers. So I'm going to skip over here. We're going to try Gemini. I just got this Gemini Advanced, so we're going to play around with it. New chat, and put in here. See how creative we can get. Here's some initial ideas with educational potential. The Accidental Time Travel, the Code-Breaking Club, the Echo Adventure, the Invention Convention. That's kind of cute. So I need to answer these questions. What kind of themes do you want to explore? Let's go with, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that, paste it right here. Now I'm not going to hit enter because it's just a copy. What kind of themes do you want to explore? Friendship, courage, and overcoming obstacles. Okay, that sounds good. What genre are you most drawn to? Let's go with adventure. Yeah, let's go with adventure because we're going to do, I kind of like the idea of the invention convention. Do you prefer a single protagonist or an ensemble? Ensemble of friends, of few friends, grown up together. See how I'm kind of just tailoring the storyline before I actually start writing it. So I want a book synopsis really to go into BookMasher. It creates a lot better books if you tell it kind of what you're after. What kind of tone do you want? Let's make it heartwarming, discovery driven. Any other specific topics you're passionate about that you'd like to incorporate? How about inventions that later in life? Okay. So let's see what we can get with that. This is pretty good. Lost Workshop of Leonardo da Vinci. Now that is a great idea right there. And it's asking me for more questions in here. The time traveling treehouse, the island of forgotten inventions. Now it's interview time. Which of these new ideas resonates? So by going through this interview process, you should have a real good idea. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause this, finish all my interviews, and then I'm going to give you a synopsis of what the book looks like before we go into BookMasher. Okay, I answered several more questions, and I think I got a pretty good book outline for this, The Lost Workshop of Leonardo da Vinci. So we outlined the book, and I asked it also give me a 200-word book synopsis that could be used to sell to a Hollywood movie producer. The reason for that prompt is, one, I get the full outline first, but the 200-word sales pitch is a great way to make a book cover for the back end of your book. Now, I get all the way down to the bottom. This looks really good. It's going to be a long book, it looks like. Let's see. And 200-word synopsis. Here we go. That's great. That is a great book cover description. Now, I bumped it up to 500-word because now I want the full idea. This is what I'm going to put into BookMasher, is the full story here. And so I'm just going to copy this. Now, you don't have to do this with all of them, but what I'm doing is I want to create a really good book with the ideas of this children's book of discovering this Leonardo workshop. I fully fleshed these out for the 9 to 12-year-old range because I want it to be an interesting story that they can learn from. When I do the 3 to 5-year-old, I don't do all this. I just put in some simple prompts. So we're going to go ahead and do this one. Put that in there. We're going to bump this up to 9 to 12-year-olds. And it is an adventure. Simple. It's going to be, let's go ahead and use a writing style of, let's go ahead and make it engaging. Single storyline. This is exactly what I want. Moral lessons, humor, adventure. I'm going to go with adventure, and I need to give it just an idea up here. So this is the Lost Workshop of Da Vinci. I'm going to take this off. I don't need that right there. In fact, I don't need any of that. Just come up here, give it a title. Okay. And we're going to make this let's give it about 50 pages, make it active, and hit update. Okay, that's the first book idea. So we're going to send, this is for our 9 to 12-year-old, and I'm going to hit finish. Now let's go back and just build a simple one for a 3 to 5-year-old. So here's what I would do is, let's just start with a new chat here. And I'm going to use chat this time. And I'm going to put in here 3 to 5. And I don't really necessarily need it to interview me or anything like that. So I'm going to take that out. Take that whole sentence out. And let's see what creativity we can go with here. Pip the Pebble. That's interesting. Ella and the Magic Food Forest. Okay. This is it. The Shapes That Save the Playground. Rainbow Bakery. So these are kind of educational too. Tilly's Time Traveling Teddy. And we've already done a Bumblebee. Lighthouse Secret. Sammy and the Silly Shack. That's interesting. These are really good ideas. But I do like the Shapes That Save the Playground. So I'm going to make that come up here to BookMasher. We're going to click Add. Come up here and we'll paste that in there. And I'm going to use OpenAI this time. Come over here, 4.0. And let's pump up the temperature on this one because I want to be really creative. English. It's going to be playful, simple writing style. But we're going to make it a rhyming book. And moral lessons, let's just make it humor. Okay. Now, what do I put here? I'm just going to grab this simple one here. A group of shapes. And we'll place it right here. Make book active. It's only going to be 20 pages. Hit update. Okay. And I'll hit finish. Now, both of these are active. Now, this is the time where we're going to come in and see the title and the outline because it's waiting for us to continue. I'm going to hit edit. So let's look at the Quest for Da Vinci's Dream Workshop. Actually, I like this better. The Lost Workshop. I like that better as the title. So let's see if I'm going to edit this. Yeah, come down to the bottom. I'm going to just keep that same title there. And let's look at the outline. You can hit preview all and you'll see the title and the outline. Mysterious Attic, The First Clue, Secrets of the Library, Hospital Wing, The Abandoned Factory, Unveiling the Secrets. This looks pretty good. So let's get started here. I'm just going to say OK to continue. Now it's going to start writing the chapters. And I'll show you what it looks like over here. It's going to say chapters. And it's just going to keep on repeating this chapters. Keep hitting refresh until we get to completed. When it says completed, the book is completed. It's ready to go to a Google Doc or a Word doc and edit for the final publishing before you publish. And this one's ready. The Shapes That Save the Playground. I love the title. Okay. Shape Squad Saves the Day, Playtime in the Shape Louie. I want to keep my same one, The Shapes That Save the Playground. So I'm going to keep that title, and I'm going to go ahead and edit it. Come down here and make that my title. Hit update. Okay, let's see, preview all. And we start off with an illustration example, the sunny day with, this is what you would have as your image going into the book itself. But we use this in the outline to kind of create the idea for the book. And this looks good. So let's get started. I like this idea here. And I'm going to say OK to continue. Now we're writing that second book, 3 to 5 year olds. Playful, simple, rhyming book and humor. Okay, so that's about all you need to actually do these books. Very, very easy to do. I hope you give it a try. I'll put the prompt in the description down below that I use. It's very simple prompt. In fact, you could see I use it on 10 to 12 year olds, 7 to 9 year olds, and it's very, very easy to use. And I always summarize it into a book description. This is how I actually go into BookMasher with it. Now you can put in you could put this entire plot line if you wanted. And I'd recommend give it a try, especially if you're having a longer book to write for children, the 9 to 12 year olds, you want more detail in it. Use the entire plot like I did on the Leonardo example. And I put the book synopsis in there as well. So anyway, hope you enjoy this. I encourage you, get out there and just start writing books. The first 3 or 4, they may not be good ones. But what you're going to learn is how to adjust everything through that prompt, through editing the outline. And this will create that first draft that you bring into Google or Docs or Word, and you can edit it from there. So very, very excited to hear how you make your children's books. Share them on our Facebook group. We're very excited about helping each other. So thank you, and we'll see you on another video.